It's the Shatkin First Down Pregame Show, presented by Dr. Todd Shatkin and the Aesthetic Associates Center, with your hosts, Rich Gaenzler and Dr. Jared Shatkin, and their special guest, Buffalo Bills linebacker and Lancaster native Joe Andreessen. Now, from the Shatkin Sports Network studios in Amherst, here are your hosts, Rich Gaenzler and Dr. Jared Shatkin.
Welcome to the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show. Lots going on in the show today. Mafia, Joe Andreessen, Buffalo Joe is going to join us live in studio in a moment. But first, with Dr. Jared Shatkin, I'm Rich Gaenzler. Let's get into the Seattle game. In a game, really, on both sides of the football, think about it, when the Bills were super good. In a game, when we went into this game, we were a little bit nervous, right? Thank God Metcalf didn't play. That might have made a difference. But gosh, I mean, where do you want to start in terms of offense? Let's start with the receiver core first. Let's start with Keon Coleman.
Yeah, that guy is really starting to come along. He's showing some great yak ability, and he also is starting to show some ability to get off the press. He plays physical. He had one of the highest blocking games of a wide receiver all year. And this guy is really turning out to be that top pick that we're looking for him to be. That one-handed catch was awesome. They went right back to him. You can tell Josh is starting to trust him, and I'm excited to see what he can do moving forward.
And you wonder how much impact Amari Cooper had in that game for Keon Coleman. I mean, Cooper, as you know, 1 catch, 3 yards. I think he was targeted 2 or 3 times tops in that game. So really not impactful, but maybe not being a target made him impactful.
Well, yeah, exactly. Just taking up that airspace and letting some other guys work across the middle of the field. And I think it's one of those things where the Bills talk about everybody eats. Well, now you're going to be able to see it because now people are going to have space to work in the slot, like Khalil Shakir and Kincaid and the tight ends are going to be able to get involved. So Cooper is playing a bigger role, not just having eyeballs on him than we had before. So I'm really excited to see what Cooper can do as a wide receiver one for us moving forward. But, you know, what he's done the last 2 weeks has been a huge boost for our offense.
Yeah, and with that skill set, I mean, I like Joe Brady and what he's been able to do in terms of, I mean, you mentioned Kincaid and Shakir crossing routes, seam routes, but they also are using that sort of quick game, that perimeter screen you're seeing a lot of, and they're doing it so well because they're getting that blocking on the outside.
Exactly. Everybody is bought in this year, I think. It seems like everybody is willing to give up their body for a couple extra yards. And, you know, Shakir is a huge part of that screen package because he's able to kind of knock off 8 yards, 10 yards every time. And he's really coming along as being one of the elite receivers in the slot in the league. So Joe Brady has figured it out. He's in his bag again like he was against the Jaguars, and it's really fun to watch.
Yeah, and he just doesn't drop balls. I mean, 36 catches on 38 targets is remarkable for Shakir with another big game. And the other great thing about the Bills in terms of their run game, now you got a really game plan for both backs, right? Mm-hmm. We saw Ray Davis a couple of weeks ago have a big game. Cook comes back with a big game on Sunday against the Seahawks.
Yeah, no, I think Cook was watching again. He was watching me say that Ray Davis should get some extra carries. So he brought the boom, right? Yeah, you know, James Cook, my God, he was running like a crazy man the other day, and they were really opening up holes for him. That offensive line was dominant against the Seahawks. I don't know if it says more for our offensive line or more for Seattle's defensive line, but there were a lot of opportunities for the running game.
Yeah, and Seattle made a lot of mistakes. I mean, let's not forget that. The snap over Geno Smith's head, the trip on 4th down. They made a lot of mistakes in their building. And Geno Smith even said after the game that he felt like at times, shout out to Bills Mafia that were there, at times it felt like it was a road game.
Yeah, well, I saw something online that said 56% of the stadium was Bills fans. So, I mean, that is crazy to go to the place that is labeled the home of the 12th man and be the actual 12th man there. You know, shout out to Bills Mafia for being able to travel all the way up west and cheer our team on and cheer us to a victory.
Yeah, and we talked about last week's show. Cook's got to have a good game, and who else? Greg Rousseau we talked about because of the lack of health on the offensive line for the Seahawks. And Rousseau comes out big again. He's now 5th in the league in pressures.
Once I saw that their backup right tackle was starting, I really got excited about the type of game Greg Rousseau could have, and he was dominating that whole game. And the whole defensive line really played a nice game. Greg Rousseau is coming along and becoming one of the premier pass rushers in this league, and he's going to be worth a lot of money at the end of the season.
Yeah, for sure. Long drives, took the crowd out of the game. Those long drives ended up in points, so a really terrific game for the Bills. Mm-hmm. We'll fast forward to the divisional game, Bills-Dolphins, in our final segment on today's show. But next up, Buffalo Joe, Lancaster's very own Joe Andreessen will join us live in studio here on the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show.
RV shoppers, Myers RV invites you to shop over 100 brands of travel trailers, fifth wheels, toy haulers, and motorhomes from all the leading manufacturers. Myers RV is the largest family-owned RV dealer in the Northeast with over 2,000 new and used RVs in stock. Right now, all remaining 2024 models are being offered at drastically reduced prices. Myers RV has 3 convenient locations in Rochester to serve you. Just a quick trip east on the 90 to save you thousands. Online at MyersRVs.com. Go Bills!
Hi, I'm Dr. Todd Shatkin here with Hall of Fame running back Thurman Thomas.
My family and I have been coming to Dr. Shatkin's dental office for years. The office is beautiful and the staff is outstanding.
Thanks, Thurman. It's been an honor for me to take care of you and your family.
For a Hall of Fame smile, go where the pros go. Dr. Todd Shatkin at the Aesthetic Associates Center.
Call today for a free consultation, 839-1700.
All right, welcome back to the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show. Rich Gaenzler with a very, very special in-studio guest. They call him Buffalo Joe, Joe Andreessen. Good seeing you, man. Really appreciate you coming in and doing this. And what a great story. Obviously, great civic pride for Western New York and certainly Lancaster. I live in Lancaster now. And I got to tell you, before we get into your whole Bills and how it happened, I remember watching you in some of your sectional games for Lancaster and some of your state games and saying to myself, damn, this guy's going to be somebody. So thanks for making me, because I told a lot of people that, so thanks for making me right in the end, because you became something from where you were then. And when you were in high school, I mean, you were playing both sides of the ball. I think I saw you run like some wildcat, like it was nuts. So do the Bills coaches know that you can run wildcat if they need you?
Yeah, sometimes they joke around about it.
Yeah.
I don't know how, like what extent they know it to, but sometimes they make some jokes because I wore 62 in high school, which isn't like the most sexy number, I guess.
Right.
But they're always making fun of my number and just like talking about my high school and stuff like that. And a lot of Orchard Park guys or coaches, kids go to Orchard Park, so they're always like making jabs at Lancaster and stuff like that. So it's fun being in there in the facility with them.
Hey, talk about 44, right? I mean, that's your current jersey number. So how did that come about?
I was just given that
That's it?
number. Yeah, that's it. There's nothing to it.
Here you go, Rook.
I do like the number though.
It's a cool number.
Yeah, my first number at Bryant was 55, so I kind of like the double numbers, so keeping it like that.
Well, there was a guy, by the way, there was a pretty good linebacker back in the day, like I want to say late 80s, who was both 44 and 55. His name was Brian Bosworth. I don't know if you ever heard of him. He was pretty good. And he wore both those numbers, so pretty good stuff for you. Okay, so let's get to your travel to the NFL, right? So it helps, you transfer home, you come back to UB, right? And it helps when you're in the shadow of an NFL team, right? Because they kind of have to keep an eye on you. And plus, Cam and Jamarcus are both on the team that are UB guys. So that probably helped you a little bit, right? That you're here in the shadow of it, that they know you're there and to keep a little bit of an eye on you?
I'd say absolutely. I don't think there's, the guys that get paid the big bucks in the front office and stuff, they have to keep track of everyone. But obviously, when you're seeing it on your local news and stuff like that, it's easier to pay attention to it.
And I know every year you guys have a UB Pro Day. So I'm curious, like, what was that like for you? And what were some of the scouts telling you in terms of, all right, Joe, hey, we really like what you're doing. Here's what you need to work on to get to that next level. What did they tell you then?
So a lot of that comes through your agent. So my agent's actually a local Buffalo guy as well. But a lot of that comes to their agent, reaching out to scouts. And, a big thing now is kind of those numbers at the Pro Day. So obviously, for guys that don't get combine invites and stuff, they do their Pro Day, and all the scouts come there, take your times. And there's like official Pro Day numbers, but all the scouts that are there kind of taking their own numbers. They're going off their own clock and everything like that. So the big thing is the 40, especially for linebackers and stuff like that. Everyone wants an athletic linebacker these days. So kind of the short shuttle drills and 40 is the big thing. Never really know what your guys are going to run, especially in like the G5 kind of schools. So I think I had a successful day there, and I was happy how it turned out.
So that's fast forward now. So you go through that, right? What was that phone call like? I don't know if you got it from somebody at the Bills or from your agent, but what was that phone call like when you got the invite to the rookie tryout?
So not necessarily a phone call, because so it goes like draft day ends, third day of the draft ends, and there's talks with your agent and everything, and kind of know where you're gonna fall. So like as far as me, there's kind of maybe a little hope to like draft in like those like 6th, 7th kind of rounds. So you're kind of holding on hope, and that day passes. and kind of the goal is you want to be signed right after the draft. So that was kind of what we were expecting, to get signed right after the draft, and kind of get that call from my agent, and he says, oh, it's not working out that way, and kind of disappointment comes and everything like that. So, but he says, a bunch of these teams want you to come to their rookie minicamp tryouts, and the Bills being one of them. So my agent kind of made those decisions for me because I put my trust in him and everything like that. And so we lined the two up that put me in the best space, and one of them was being Buffalo. And glad we chose that. And how it worked out there, right?
Yeah, man. I mean, so you get through the tryout, then you get to mini camps, then you get to OTAs, and you're still around, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then
it's a long process.
Then you get to training camp, and you're still around, right? So now you've made it all the way through training camp. But now it's final cutdown day. You're still there.
Yeah.
Like, what's your level of nervousness? Because you've always been good your whole life. There was never a threat of you being cut, right? You've probably never been cut, right?
No.
But at this level, there had to be a little bit level of nervousness.
Yeah.
Right?
So going into OTAs and everything like that, kind of don't know where you stand, kind of everything. Obviously, I knew I was like a rookie tryout, all this, and like all the undrafted guys kind of have that same feeling. But I kind of took it one day at a time. I wouldn't say even through OTAs and training camp, I wasn't super nervous. I think I was just really happy to be there more than anything, kind of going out there. I would say though, during training camp, going and practicing in front of like crowds, like crazy crowds, like those are probably bigger crowds than I played in front of like in college, right? Honestly. So, and I've never practiced in front of people like, in college and everything. You're just practicing like with the team and everything like that. So kind of going out there, and there's like a lot of crazy plays that happen in practice that like in college that no one even sees. And so going out there practicing in front of a bunch of people, in front of the best players in the world, is definitely a little nerve-wracking. You kind of get used to it once that first week passes. But yeah, I was just happy how it was going, taking the preseason games one game at a time.
And then you make the team. So tell me about that moment.
Going off the last answer, it's kind of uncertain. You don't have control of like what they're gonna make the decisions as a team. And I thought I put myself in a good position to make the team, so I was definitely happy about that. And I thought, kind of no matter what happened, I definitely showed I could play in the NFL. So that was kind of definitely relief, because I think kind of going into it, a lot of people didn't feel that way. So that was kind of relief. And I mean, when my agent gave me the call in the morning and kind of said, hey, like, you're gonna be on the Buffalo Bills, and he kind of told me like that. He said be happy, but he said there's also a couple like the next couple of days there's a lot of transactions that happen, but like right now you're gonna be on the 53-man. So that was definitely cool. My parents, I think, were probably even more excited than me. So
man,
it was a great moment.
But I mean, I'm so happy for you. Like the viewers can probably see me. I'm gushing because that moment must have been so unbelievable. Making your hometown NFL football team, and what a absolute dream come true. Talk about now being part of this, and talk about, people always talk about the speed of the game, and obviously you're in the MAC, and before that you were even in a lower level than that, right? In college. Now you're in the NFL, so there's got to be a major gap between what you were used to in college and what you're playing against now. So talk a little bit about the adjustment to the speed of the NFL and the game that now you're a part of every single day of your life.
Yeah, I think it definitely comes with kind of even just like what we talk about in the building, definitely being a smart football player is kind of what helps the most. So kind of like when you go in there as a rookie in OTAs and training camp like that, NFL football is a lot different from college football as far as like the hashes go, the schemes that the NFL teams are running. So you kind of have to, I wouldn't say relearn football, but you have to learn NFL football and learn kind of how offenses are attacking you, kind of what they like to do out of these formations, under center, if they're in gun, blah, 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 all that stuff. And once you kind of start getting that stuff down, start picking up on that, you can definitely pick up the speed a little bit more. And I think the biggest thing for me was being in a smaller group of 5 in FCS before that. The O-linemen definitely are, for me, and I'm sure like the offensive guys say the same thing about the D-line, is very athletic. They're bigger, more athletic than what I was used to in college. So, but over time through OTAs and stuff, you kind of just get that stuff down. You kind of get used to it. I wouldn't say used to it, but you get better at that speed of the game. And you just play like your hair's on fire.
Yeah, and which exactly what you've been doing. And I mean, you're everything we've talked about here in our few minutes: athleticism, know-how, smarts, knowledge, all of that. I mean, brilliant. What'd you do with your first check?
Ooh, okay. So I'm a big sports card collector.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say it was my first check technically. It was when I made the team.
Yeah.
When I made that 53. Yeah. It was that day. I bought a 2023 Bowman Draft, it's called. So I don't know if you know anything about sports cards.
Sure.
But like Paul Skeens is in that set. There's also like a big Tom Brady card in that set. And I made a promise to myself, I made the team, I was going to buy that box.
Cool.
Bought that and actually pulled the Tom Brady card that I was like happy about, like kind of like why I wanted to purchase. Like, it's just a cool card that's like a baseball Tom Brady card. You know, obviously he plays football, so kind of a unique card. So.
Last thing, how gratifying was that hit on the kickoff at Seattle? That was epic.
Yeah, so a cool feeling. Kind of going, so I beat my guy, and there's a lot of space between me and the returner, and you know, kind of like we were talking about, the speed of the game, these returners are really fast, and there's a lot of room, so I just was going down there. And everything's happening so fast, so kind of, you know, down there's a lot of space, and I just didn't want to miss the tackles, so I'm trying to close space, state of my technique, and kind of what ended up happened. And definitely a cool feeling. Everyone on the sideline was going crazy for me, and you know, kind of cool when you see for a special teams play, kind of seeing your teammates go crazy for you on the sideline. It's a great feeling.
And oh, by the way, having Josh Allen mention you in the post game, which I'm sure you've seen.
Yeah.
You didn't see it happen live, but I'm sure you were told about it by a million people. I really appreciate coming in, man. Great story, man. We're continuing to root you on, and we'll have you back whenever you're available, man.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
All right, Buffalo Joe Andreessen. More coming up on the Shatkin First Down Buffalo Pregame Show.
Hello, I'm Dr. Sam Shatkin Jr., board-certified plastic surgeon. In addition to my many other aesthetic treatments, I'm now offering the revolutionary 4D facelift exclusively for you. Look your best in the new year. Make the resolution right now to give us a call at the Aesthetic Associate Center. Come in for a free consultation. Just mention Buffalo Healthy Living Magazine, 716-800-6026, and find out more at drshatkin.com.
Are you hungry? Eat! Stabilize your loose dentures with Shatkin mini dental implants.
My self-esteem wasn't where it should have been because I was really, really self-conscious about my teeth. When I walked into Shatkin Dental, I was instantly ready for the residency program. I knew that that is what I needed. I needed the discount, I needed the dentist that was gonna fix everything. My self-esteem is already getting much, much, much higher just from starting the procedures.
Call Shatkin Dental Health today at 43 Smile for quality dental care you can afford.
All right, welcome back to the Shatkin First Down Buffalo Pregame Show. Time to go in the pocket. What are the Dolphins going to do now with him back? He's had the one game against Arizona, but what do you think their game plan is going to look like?
Yeah, I'm sure Mike McDaniel's planning to get the ball out quick like he always does. I mean, Tua is a great quarterback when he can distribute and kind of be a point guard, so I'm sure they got a lot of screens dialed up, a lot of quick passing games. So as far as the Bills, I expect him to bring some pressure because he's not going to beat us with his legs, and even if he does, we know how that's kind of turned out. So I expect the Bills to pressure a lot and mix some stuff up for him.
You know, it's odd because, you know, we look at the Bills and I feel like their defense has been really, really good. But against the run, they're ranked 31st in the league right now, the Bills' run defense. Dolphins get Mostert back and Achane. Mm-hmm. So I'm thinking, man, if they can get that run game going and Tua can use play action, even better for him.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of been the story of what the past 5-6 years, like when we play really good run teams, it's kind of we don't do too well. So if they're able to get that run game going early or the Bills can stop that run game early, I think that'll kind of determine the way the game's going to unfold.
All right, wing the ball. It's time to go and get the Mafia lined up. All right, welcome back to the Shatkin First Down Buffalo Pregame Show. Sam's back after In the Pocket. Time for the Mafia. Bob Ganji's back. Pastor Siege is in the house. He's been here in years past for the first time this year, and we welcome all you guys back to the Mafia. And it's the midseason, 6-2 now. Of course, Dr. Jared here as well. And I want to ask you guys your midseason letter grades for the team at 6-2. Look, I mean, in the division, we've gotten a lot of help, right? Obviously, the Jets are a dumpster fire, as we all know. Miami, Tua's been out for 4 weeks, and they have suffered because of it, right? So 6-2, huge lead in the division. I mean, they could clinch within the next 3 or 4 weeks, potentially. Bob, first to you. Letter grade for the Bills.
I have to give it like a B+.
B+?
That beat down they took against Baltimore really brought that down. They could be 7-1 with a couple plays in Houston. So I think they're probably where they should be at this point.
Pastor Siege.
I'm looking at A-. I was thinking B+. Got to be a little different, but yeah, the slow starts have me down off the A, but when the defense shows up like this past week, there's no stopping them. So I'm really looking forward to the rest of the season.
QB?
You guys make some good points. I'm kind of torn, but I'm going to go B+ as well. I think we're a lot better than people thought we were going to be, but now that we are this good, it's kind of made the standard a little bit higher. But with the addition of Cooper and how our offense has looked the last couple of weeks, I think we're starting to kind of throw the ball a little bit more and just play through Josh. So I'm excited to see how that turns out.
Yeah, I'm going to ask you a letter grade too. Why not? While we're at it.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with an A. I really like the way the team is coming together. I feel like every team takes some lumps early on in the season. You know, slow starting in the first half it's definitely going to knock them down a little bit, but they have been able to come back and win a lot of these games. So I think the way they've already gotten out to such a division lead lets me think that their letter grade should be an A.
Yeah, I'll do an A-, overcoming a lot of injuries on the team. You've seen the evolution of Coleman. Russo's really grown into a really productive player, one of the best at his position, even though the sack numbers are where they are. Shakira's fantastic. Ray Davis has come out of nowhere to be a stud, so I'm going to give him an A-. Let's get right to the picks. We got to fast forward. We're a little bit short in the Mafia segment this week. What do you think, Bills Miami, Bob?
I think, as usual, we'll do a 30-13 Bills win.
All right, Siege.
We're going 28-13 Bills on top.
And QB.
38-35 Bills.
Whoa! All right, Tua would just need one week against Arizona to tune himself back up, and he'll be back to form. But Bills still win, according to you three. We'll break down the rest coming up. All right, let's go to our common crossovers. We do this every week. Guys that played for both teams, the Bills and the Miami Dolphins. We'll start here. This running back famously ended his Bills career with -3 yards.
Reggie Bush.
Reggie Bush is right, and also played with the Dolphins. 4-time Pro Bowl guard, drafted by St. Louis, then went to Miami, and then to Buffalo. Richie Incognito, right? Lastly, this running back wore 34, played his whole career with the Bills until 1 year with Miami. Not Thurman Thomas. Not Cookie Gilchrist. Electric Company.
Jim Braxton?
Jim Braxton! Well done. Fullback in the OJ Electric Company 70s Bills. Played 1 year in Miami. All right. You guys are all eating thanks to our friends at Sorrentino's. We'll come back and break down the Bills and Dolphins and myself and Dr. Jared after this on the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show.
I am so happy with my experience that I had at I Smile Spas today. Got my teeth professionally whitened. I have months of results in less than an hour. No pain, seriously not even a sting. They're not sensitive. You leave with a kit to continue your whitening. Absolutely incredible. I'm so happy I ever did this. I can't stop smiling.
Western New York. Smile again with confidence. Call 43-SMILE today.
It means a lot to be able to work with my dad to continue this legacy that we have going on.
I had many implants. Once I got them, it was like the old me came back.
The changes you can make in such a short period of time in somebody's life, have somebody in the chair crying because they finally have a full set of teeth. And I think the only way to do it in that type of time period for that type of price is really the mini implant.
Mini dental implants can change your life too. Call us at 839-1700 for a free consultation.
All right, welcome back to the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show. Rich and Jared, and let's talk Miami. We know what happened in the first game. Tua gets knocked out. Bills blow him out. Tua back. Decent game in his comeback against Arizona, even though the Dolphins lose on the last play of the game on a field goal. You know, you would think they would need some time to sort of redevelop everything. him being out for a month. But again, decent stats. You know, they got Achane and Mostert's back now as well, so they got some power and speed. And of course, they still got Tyreek Hill and Waddle. Now it might turn around. It's going to be a bit. You know, the Bills can't sleep on this game, right?
No, absolutely not. That's kind of what I was thinking. The fact that Tua's back, they got Hill, they got Waddle. They still have all those extremely fast, dangerous playmakers. So I don't think it's the type of game. We're looking at a 2-5 Miami team, but I don't think they're going to play like a 2-5 team.
Yeah, for sure. And they're healthy up front, too, which for a long time has been a big issue for them. They haven't been able to run block. They haven't been able to pass block. But as far as I know, left to right, they're 100% go.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is a dangerous Dolphins team because they get to come in and be a little bit of a spoiler here. It looks like a bit of a trap game, so the Bills really have to be awake for this one.
Yeah, for sure. Divisional game. And look, we've seen the Bills at home sleepwalk a little bit in early portions of games. So Sean can't let that happen for the Bills. Now, the Dolphins still without Bradley Chubb, still without Jalen Phillips and Javon Holland with the knee. Add Sealer and Kohu on that list as well. So those are 5 really significant guys on their defense that at least 3 of the 5 probably won't be playing.
Yeah, so that's where I think the Bills are going to be able to take advantage of this team. James Cook had a phenomenal game week 2 where he ran the ball for 2 touchdowns, and he became a huge part of that game. And I think that's where we're going to be able to take advantage of them, is running the ball and play action passing. And I think Josh is going to have to play a little bigger role in this game than he did in week 2. But I still have a lot of confidence in them going forward in this one.
I feel like there's a lot of confidence in the offense as a whole. They just, you know, Josh had the sort of freakish interception because Cooper slips, right? So if you throw that one out, he's still got no blemishes, but he also has the freakish fumble that, you know, he should be in the Premier League after that kick to Ty Johnson, basically. What an assist that was. Thank you, Ty Johnson, for that recovery.
Exactly.
But still, again, the Bills aren't turning the ball over.
Yeah, they really haven't lost the turnover battle yet this year. And also, I think one thing that I said while I was watching the game versus Seattle, I said, I think this is one of the best Bills teams I've seen in a while all around, because I think if you go back to last year, they had problems even during their win streak offensively. They weren't passing the ball that well. They were kind of leaning on the run game a little bit, and there wasn't that kind of well-rounded game plan and play-action passing. And now it seems like these guys have all bought in, and the play-action passing is starting to work. Josh is getting rid of it, giving it to the right guys, and they're making some yards after catch. And when he needs to make that Josh Allen superhero play, he's still able to do that.
Yeah, they've been really functional without having to be the superhero for really a lot of this season, which is great. So let's get your prediction. Bills-Dolphins Sunday.
Yeah, I still think the Bills are going to come out of this with a pretty comfortable win. I think the Dolphins are going to give us some trouble early, but I see us winning 31-21.
Oh, man, I love that pick. I love that number. I'll stay around that. I'll go 31-23. But the Bills win. I don't think we're going to see Mitch Trubisky this week, but I still think the Bills win. So thank you for being here. Thanks to our sponsors, of course, Aesthetic Associates, Shatkin Dental, Dr. Todd Shatkin, Sorrentinos, and Myers RV. Thanks to Jared, the Mafia, and Buffalo Joe Andreessen for joining us. Finally, thank you for watching this edition of the Shatkin First Down Buffalo Pregame Show. Go Bills.
In the Pocket is sponsored by Mini Dumpster Rental. Call 716-429-6362. This has been a production of the Shatkin Sports Network.